Hello. Oh my god, this video is making me feel like a bit nostalgic. Kind of making me like think back to like baby Jords and like, but also, I don't know what it is, right? Whenever I think back to like old videos of me, I just cringe and I don't know why. I think it's just where I put myself on the internet. Obviously, like I watch my growth, like I watch me growing up, which obviously a lot of people don't do. So and I'm fully aware that I literally morph, like since I've started, I've morphed into about 5,928 people. And I'm cool about it. Today we are like doing an updated hairstyles video, which I used to do quite a few of, or at least kind of do it when I changed my hair. Who remembers them? I was tiny, right? Like I pretty much did them whenever I kind of chopped off my hair. It got shorter and shorter, like gradually. I know that a lot of people, when they cut off their hair, they're kind of stuck and they don't really know what to do with it, or they think they can't do anything with it because they think there's nothing here. Like, where's the inches? Like what am I meant to do? I wanted to do an updated one because obviously you guys know recently I've chopped off my hair, dyed it, checked everything out. Like I looked at my DMs, my comments were like good shit, and well, this video was wanted. So here we are. I wanted to put together a kind of like book of hairstyles. These are like my go-tos. Like if I'm gonna style my hair, it's gonna be in one of these. There's a mixture of stuff in here from like sleek and straight to big and curly. Like we kind of do a little bit of everything. I'm about to do these hairstyles on me. I'm not the kind of person to really like pull out the plaits and do all this like crazy shit. Like that's just not me. Guys, if you have short hair, please don't feel like you can't do anything with it, because you can. All you need is a little bit of practice, a little bit of time, and you'll be good to go. Not hard, anyone can do them. If I can do them, you can. You can. Even if you think that like I can do hair better, bitch, shut up, okay? You can. Right, let's just get into this, some groovy hairstyles. Take it away. Hairstyle number one, to be fair, this is probably my most worn look, my kind of go-to style, just that super sleek, super straight hair. I always get so many questions about how I do this, like how I get it so shiny as well. Dead easy, guys. Like, let's just get into it. I'm gonna show you. So, starting off with my hair in its natural state, this is just what we're working with. You're, of course, gonna need a hair straightener to do this. I'm using my GHDs. Parting my hair above my ears. This is gonna be one section out of three. Of course, when we part our hair, it's gonna make it easier to straighten, especially the underneath section, because it's so short. Picking out my heat protector, and I always use this whenever I'm using heat. This is a Mark Hill one. It's their nourishing one. This actually has oil in, which I know sounds fucking crazy and you think it's gonna make your hair like greasy as hell. This doesn't. If you want shine, use this. Then as you can see, I'm literally just straightening my hair. Nothing fancy. I'm not doing the most. I mean, if you notice, I am actually kind of going down the hair slower, so I don't have to repeat the process a million times. For me, as long as it's straight like this, then I'm happy. So I'm just gonna go ahead, speed through this. I don't wanna bore your asses off. Take the next section down, straighten that, repeat it for the third section as well. I just try to get it as straight down as I possibly can, like pin straight. I feel like you guys get the gist, right? No flicking under, no flicking out, straight down. Now for me, I just like the front to be a little juicy, you know, have a little bit of shape to it. So I'm going to grab the two front pieces, put them in front of my face, grab my hair straighteners, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to like straighten it down, but I'm slightly curving the straightener ever so slightly. Like when I say ever so slightly, bitch, I mean ever so slightly, okay? Don't do the most, keep it simple, let that cool off and set, and when you flick it back over, you can just see how much body and volume it has. I think on a one length, it's way more flattering. This is kind of the moment when I decide what I want. Sometimes I'll literally leave it down like this. Other times I want it a little bit more at my face, so I'll tuck a little bit behind my ears, pull a little bit out the front though to give me a little bit of a face framing moment, just kind of play around and see what I want. And then final touches. Listen, this product right here, this Mark Hill Shine Spray, I mean, it does what it says, right? Watch when I spray this. Be kind of generous, not too crazy, but like a nice amount. Look how shiny my hair is. Are you joking? For real, I'm putting you onto something good here. If you want shine, get this. And then for me, these flyaways annoy the frick out of me. So I take this Mark Hill Taming Polish. This is another Mark Hill product. It's not Spawn. They just know what they're doing. They got some good shit. So I rub this in between my hands, by the way, and I'm just going to lightly press it into my roots. Not too much because I don't want it to look greasy, but enough to kind of tame everything down. And that is it. So easy, to be honest. I think it's the styling products that help this look. But yeah, I hope that was helpful. Second hairstyle, I love this look. I think it's so sweet. It's kind of like vintage and like 80s inspired, I feel like. I just want to say, if you've got short hair, you can still do this trend. Listen up, let's talk about it. So first thing I'm gonna do is start by getting that middle part first, so we kind of get the shape we want. Then take half of it up, so I do it above my ears, clip it up, and we're gonna work on this underneath section. Using your hair straighteners, what you wanna do, I'm ever so slightly flicking up the ends. Did you guys see that? I'm not turning the straightener a lot, just a little flick. You just wanna give it a little bit of that like upward shape at the bottom. All I can say is try to do it in one smooth motion. That's why I love GHDs, because you can do that. It avoids that sort of square shape and you get that more circular one. Then I wanna take down the top section section, and the first thing I want to do is just tuck these bits behind my ears, get them as like flat and as neat as possible. Then I want to secure it in place with a grip, a bobby pin, whatever you want to call it, so that we don't have to like constantly be tucking it in all the time. I kind of push down on it like now, as you can see, to kind of hide it behind my ear. Repeat the same thing on the other side. Now we kind of know what we're working with, what we can flick up. You want to pick that straightener back up and get back to it. You want to start the whole flicking thing for this top layer. I use the underneath section that we've already done as a guide to kind of know where to flick and where I want it to sit. Obviously you want the whole bottom section of your hair to kind of flick together, right? So use that as a guide and just keep going until you're happy with the shape. To finish this look off, I am going to pick up some hairspray. This is the Nourishing Oil one from Mark Hill, so we get shine and hold in one, which is perfect. I'm going to spray the front sections to keep them in place, then also the bits we curl with the hair straightener, I spray and hold so that once the hairspray dries, it's set in place. I want to say as well, especially if your hair struggles with curl, do this, it will help. Spray all over, and that is this look done. So easy, but it's effective, right? It's kind of cute. Next up, you guys wanted a half up, half down. I feel like there's a stigma that people with short hair can't do half up, half down. Well, I'm about to prove you wrong, because you can. I'm going to show you how to get it tight and sleek, and it's really not as hard as you think. So brush your hair through to get it knot free, and then we want to start working on this deep side part. I use my nail as a guide, but you could use a comb. This is just a rough guide, and then you kind of decide how thick you want it. I kind of did mine halfway down my head. Section it off like this, and then twist it up and get it out the way for now, and we'll come back to this in a bit. Now to do the half up bits, so using my thumbs, I'm just going to gather a bit of hair. Key tip, don't go too far back. Leave a lot of hair down. This is what's going to give you the volume. It's also going to give an illusion of thicker hair as well, which is perfect. So now I'm going to take some hairspray and spray these side bits and flatten them down with my hands just to kind of stick any bits that fall down to my head. I do have short hair, so that will happen. It also helps to get it sleeker as well, gives us a bit of like grip. Now I'm just taking a hairband and of course just tying that up. I just do it as tight as I possibly can. Then for me, when I do this hairstyle, I pretty much like a bit of a facelift going on. So these side bits here that I'm grabbing, pull them tight. They're going to pull the hair by your temple, and that's going to like facelift, just trust me. I'm going back to this fringe bit now, so I'm just starting by kind of sorting out these baby hairs so I know what hair goes on what side, then grabbing my favorite gel, like glue situation. This is the Got To Be glue. This is so good for kind of like baby hair, sticking hair down, gluing wigs down, all that good stuff. I take about this much. I just warm it up in my hand to kind of distribute the product as well, and then we get glue in. Like that's all I do. I kind of just rub it on my parting. Glue down your parting. I know it sounds weird, but it make it more visible. Then for me, I don't know about you, but I have crazy baby hairs that need kind of gluing down. I'm not really like shaping them as such. I'm just kind of swooping them back into my hair so it just looks a whole neater. Like I said, my baby hairs have a mind of their own. Crazy, okay? So this just, I don't know, I just prefer the way it looks. Do you know what I mean? Finish off with a little bit of hairspray. Now for this fringe bit. Now this is gonna sound weird, but I try to keep it as like thick as I possibly can before I tuck it behind my ears. Kind of reminds me of that Gigi Hadid style half up, half down that was like going around and people were going crazy for. Then I am gonna of course take a grip, a bobby pin, and just secure that in place so it doesn't move. Last thing for the ponytail, I do like to give it a little bit of volume, so just take my brush and do like a rough bit of teasing, nothing precise or anything, just a tiny bit. And then of course where I have short hair, I do get these sticky out bits here, these short bits. If you don't like them, I don't mind them, but if you don't, take it and wrap it around and use it as a ponytail hider. That's like a good little tip. Sorry, I played you. This is actually the last thing. One more step. I'm just taking my hair straightener just to go over everything to make sure it's as straight as possible. Oh, and that is it. How easy is that? I feel like it doesn't need to be complicated. Practice makes perfect, you guys. You could even, like this for example, I've obviously got it in a ponytail, but you could wrap it around, bobby pin it in place, and have a little bun if that's your vibe. Both are real cool. But yeah, that's that half up, half down. Fourth hairstyle now. This is just all about the volume, to be honest. I get so many questions about how I do get it so big. You know, I go from like sleek and straight to this. To be honest, this is just like a big textured bob with some good products. You can get this hair. So I am actually going to use a hair straightener in this video to do the waves, well, the texture, which is probably freaking a lot of you out. I know straighteners scare a lot of people when it comes to curling your hair. This is going to be, trust me, I'll explain in a bit, it's going to be okay. I've just sectioned off my hair. This is the bottom section. This is section 1 out of 3. I take a decent chunk of hair. The more you take, the looser the kind of wave, which is what we want. Take my hair straightener, put the hair into it like this, and I just flick my wrist backwards, kind of like 180 degrees, I guess. Pull there down. Sometimes I leave the ends of the hair out. I'm really not too fast. Just want a little bit of movement through the hair like this. So again, run the hair straightener through, flicked it back 180, pulled it down, pull it out, and you're left with that. I also like curl some bits towards my face as well. This will help with volume too, because the curls will sit with each other rather than in each other, if that makes sense. Honestly, I don't really think about it. If some don't turn out as good as others, that's totally fine. Like, it's chill, it doesn't matter. In fact, it's better, it will look better in the end. Also for the nape of my neck, because my hair's short, I just literally turn the straightener underneath, if that makes sense. It's not really going to do much, but it will just add a little something, you know what I mean? Then I literally just keep going to take the next section down. So my key points are do some towards your face, some away from your face. Take bigger chunks of hair, it's less time consuming. It also creates like a looser wave. I leave the ends out as well because that helps to add more texture. And don't think about it too much. If you leave some bits out, I'm pretty sure I left some straight bits, but it's fine because it's not about that. We're not adding like big waves or curls because obviously I don't want to lose length. It's just to give it a little bit of movement and just to help with the volume in the end. When I'm done, it looks like this. Once it's kind of cooled down and set, then I go in and style it. So the first thing that I like to do is just take my fingers and run them through my hair. This just helps to kind of separate all the curls. Then me personally, I like to take my hairbrush and just brush through the waves as well. You'll see the difference between this side and the other side. It fluffs it up. Kind of gets that like, I like it to look a little bit like frizzy. I know it sounds weird, but then I also like to kind of like tip my head over and run my fingers through like that so I can get those underneath pieces. And then I just decide where I want my part. Normally I like a side part when I have my hair like this. Also, where we curled our hair in a middle part and we flipped it over to a side part, look at that volume that you get at the front, because obviously the curls are going like the wrong way. Does that make sense? Mad, right? Like it's mental. And then for me, the key to keep this all in is a texture hairspray. This is the Sam McKnight one. This is going to not only give your hair hold, but also make it huge. So as you can see, I lift up my hair and spray it in. So I get all pieces of hair underneath. Hold it for a second, put it down. I'm sorry. Can we talk about volume? I am telling you, texture hairsprays is where it's at. If you want volume but hold, bitches, get this. Get it. That's all I can say. I'm gonna leave it in the description box. Get it? Look at that. Huge. Last thing I do is brush the ends. It kind of gives the appearance of thicker hair. It kind of fluffs them up and we are done. The fifth hairstyle. I'm excited about this one, man, because ever since I cut my hair off this short, made it like dark, made it black, I am obsessed. I think this looks so cool. It just looks so sick. I wore it in my last video and you guys wanted to know how I did it. So first thing I like to do is just brush my hair back so I kind of know the direction that I want the hair to go in. Then a mousse. This is what you want to take, a mousse. This is some sort of like volume type one. Any mousse, get a shit ton of it. And I start running it through the roots of my hair. I always start by doing the roots because it kind of sleeks it down and puts the hair in the direction that I want. Add even more and keep going. You want to keep going until your hair looks wet. Mousse is the key to this. I think a lot of people wonder how you get the hair to stay wet looking, if that makes sense. Obviously, if you use water, it's going to dry. Mousse is exactly what you need. It will dry and but it will make your hair feel a bit gross. Gonna keep it real, it will feel crunchy. You'll want to wash it after, but it's fine. It's all part of the look. Now I'm taking this Mark Hill Wave Spray and just spraying this into the ends of my hair. You'll see I'm gonna scrunch it in. The difference that this makes, it kind of gives it that more tousled beach wave look. Y'all see that? It just gives like a bit of texture. Is this necessary? No, you can totally skip this step. I just like the way it looks, so I'm gonna do it. Oh, another thing that I like to do while the mousse is setting, I run my fingers through kind of like the top portion of my head, just to add a little bit of volume so it's not as stuck to my head, and just kind of play around with it till I get it where I want. What I like to do just to make sure everything is like extra secure, I'm going back in with some hairspray, the Mark Hill oil one. I mean, put in as much as you want. We're wet anyway. We're here now, so you may as well. I definitely make sure I spray enough in the top though, just to make sure, obviously, especially if you're wearing this out, that it doesn't kind of fall down. Final thing I like to do is go back in with my Got To Be glue and just kind of neaten up my baby hairs, kind of like I did before. Just think it finishes it off nicely, and I also think it makes my forehead look a little bit smaller. Do you know what I mean? And that is it. That is this hairstyle. This is so badass and so cool. I love it. Chef's kiss. I love this. And those are a few hairstyles that I do on the reg. All I can say is if you can't do it the first time, do not give up. Like, keep at it, okay? But yeah, that is it for like these top hairstyles that you wanted to see. I hope you enjoyed. Thumbs it up, subscribe if you want to see more things like this. I will be chilling in the comments, so feel free to leave one. I'll be down there. Thank you for watching. I love you guys. Stay safe, and I'll see you all soon.